Oh my goodness. There's that Pastor Valerie Horn. She's going to be preaching at the Outpouring Women's Conference on October the 3rd. We're so wrong. That's not right. Not October, on December. On December. It is December the 3rd. We'd love for you to go with us to Corsicana, Texas, the first Saturday in December. We're going to have an amazing time in God's presence there. Starts at 8:30 in the morning. You don't want to miss it. We'll be at the Lifeline Church with Bishop Ricky Walter, and it's just going to be a great time in the Lord. So good to see you. Good to see you, Pastor Val, and Pastor Diggs will be preaching. I'll be speaking. It's going to be a wonderful time in God's presence. All right, we're looking at places where we experience conflict, marriages on the road, at work. I see you at church. And so the truth is, conflict doesn't discriminate, so it hits all of us, and we experience it everywhere. There is potential for conflict anywhere you go. You see, when you're interacting with people, especially in a leadership role, you're going to have times where you will disagree or simply view things differently. Pardon me. And let me tell you that disagreement is natural. If you have two people together, sometimes they're just going to disagree. If they never disagree, then one of them is unnecessary, right? Because they're always just agreeing with what the other person said. So always when you interact with people, there are going to be conflicts. But in order for the task that is at hand to be accomplished, in other words, in order for me to get it done, if I am on a team or if I am in a situation where I have to work with people or I have to live with people or I have to grocery shop with people, in order for the task at hand to be accomplished, there must be cohesiveness and there must be unity. And so what needs to happen in order to resolve conflict is a conversation is necessary. Come on, someone just put in the chat, I got to have a talk. I got to have a talk about that. I've got to have a conversation. That's right. We've got to talk about it. We avoid conflict. And we avoid having what I call the crucial conversations, the hard conversations. Lord have mercy. The hard conversations. But today we're going to talk about having those, and we're going to get past it so it doesn't constantly plague us and plague our thoughts. And we constantly think about, oh my goodness, that conflict really, really bothers me. And it's important, and I know you can do it. I know you can do it. A conversation is necessary so that we can come to an agreement and so that we can have the relationship that's needed in order to move forward. So when you're having this difficult or crucial conversation, first step is having that conversation. You must start with heart. Come on, just say that. I must start with heart. Come on, let me see you. Let me see you put it in the comments. Let's see if you get this first point well. I must start with heart. Let me tell you what that means. It means that you enter the conversation, this crucial conversation, this difficult conversation with the right motives, and you remain focused. All right, come on. Just say, I've got to have the right motives. Come on. I've got to have the right motives, and I've got to remain focused. All right, we'll just take a marriage for an example, Sister Jeanette Davis. When there are conflicts in marriages, but it applies to other situations as well, sometimes we go not hysterical, but historical. Oh my, historical, where we bring up all of the things that have happened over the years. Because I remember 10 years ago, you did X, Y, Z. That's not the way to have the crucial conversation. You've got to have the right motives and you must remain focused. Come on, let me see. What do you say? Yes, I've got to start with the heart, the right motives. Right motives and remaining focus. Yes, remaining focus. Yes, I see that. What great notes you're taking. And so if the motives of both parties are right, then there will be no need of fear of fearing addressing the issue. If the motives of both parties are right, there's no need to fear having the conversation and addressing the issue. You know, it would be assured that the issue would be worked out in the best interest as best as possible, as much as possible of all the parties concerned. So now we know we can't guarantee that the other party is going to start with the heart. But what did the text say? Oh my goodness, I love God's word because everything is addressed in right here in God's word. It's so great. What did he say? What did he say here? In Romans 12:18, Paul said, as much as lieth within you. You can't control anyone else, but you certainly can control you. Oh, yes, you can. Come on, say, I can control me. I got me. I can take care of me. I may not be able to control anyone else, but I do know how to control myself and make sure that I am doing what? Living peaceably. So that means I'm not going to give anyone else the power to make me act out of character. Oh my gosh. Oh, come on. That will bless your life. No matter what they do, I'm not going to give them the power to make me act out of character. I'm going to do my part of Romans 12:18 and live peaceably as much as lieth within me. What does that mean? Sometimes that means not speaking. Oh my gosh. Not doing too much talking, just addressing the issue. That's why you want to remain focused, because you end up saying a whole lot of unnecessary words that make things worse and not make things better. Oh, come on. I'm just talking about living peaceably as much as lieth within you. Oh my. You know, remaining focused allows the issues that are at hand to be properly addressed and not other issues that are not relevant to this interaction or this exchange. Oh my. All right. So we're going to address these challenges, these conflicts that we have, and we're going to make sure that that we take the time and that we give the importance necessary to resolve the issue. All right? So you can do this with your children. You can do it with your spouse. You can do it in a church setting. You can do it in a work setting. We're going to resolve conflict because it's all those places. That's right. It's all those places. You know, why is it so important that we address the tough issues? Why can't we just say, oh, well, why don't we just won't talk about it? Oh my gosh. Did anyone grow up in a family where sometimes there were some things that had so much conflict in them? There were issues that were going on that really needed to be addressed, but they never talked about it. Oh, come on. If you had that experience growing up where you really felt some things should have been talked about that weren't talked about, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Just say, sometimes we didn't talk about things. We didn't talk about them. But it's important to address tough issues wherever they occur, at work or at home or in your interactions, wherever that may be, because they can occur anywhere. Because if you leave them unaddressed, they don't go away. They just get worse. Oh, if you leave it unaddressed, if you don't address the conflict, address the issue, it doesn't go away. It just gets worse. And the Bible tells us as much as lieth within us. So we've got to do our part to live peacefully. So if you've ever, oh, I see that. I see Jeanette said we didn't talk about it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we didn't communicate. Yes, Della, I see that. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. We just kind of went on. Good morning, Mother Jocelyn Phoenix. Good to see you. Yes. We piled up the conflict. Oh, that's good. And that's what happens. It's one conflict on top of another, until we almost explode, right? Until we always almost explode. Sometimes we didn't talk about, yeah, I see that. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about them. Yes. And it leaves you feeling badly because of that unresolved part. Because what happens is the enemy brings all these thoughts to our minds. And we've talked about thoughts a lot on Friday morning, how he will whisper things in your ears. Oh, is it because of me? Why didn't this happen? Why did this happen? Did they do it because of me? Was I not good enough, or did I not do the right thing, or what was it? And so the enemy wreaks havoc with your mind. When, let me tell you that sometimes the conflicts have no ulterior motives. It's just something that happened, but we didn't talk it out to find out why. Sometimes there are things in the background with people. There are things that have happened that make them the way they are, that has nothing to do with you. That's right, nothing to do with you, but we've got to address this conflict. When we don't address it, it only gets worse and it doesn't go away. And that issue can grow and get bigger and bigger and become more difficult, even more difficult to handle as a result of leaving it unaddressed. What could have quickly been resolved with a conversation, and a cordial one, now can become very heated, become a heated exchange where everybody involved runs the risk of being negatively impacted. This is so important with your relationships, with your children, with your spouse, with your brother, with your sister, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend. It's so important that you understand you've got to have the conversation. Crucial conversations are conversations where the stakes are high. Well, what do I mean by the stakes are high? Well, I care about you. I care about you, and I want to have a good relationship with you. It's a conversation where the opinions vary. So different people have different opinions, and the emotions run strong. The emotions run strong, and those emotions are vital to our lives. Come on. Okay, let's just have a crucial conversation right here. All right, who sometimes gets very emotional in their conversations? Come on, let's admit it. Let's admit it. I'll admit it. Sometimes I have to wait a while because I might begin to cry. Oh, I'm just being really transparent this morning. So before I have that conversation, sometimes I have to pause and kind of get it together. I'll tell you another technique that I use. Sometimes I need to write down what I want to say, because in the emotions of the moment, sometimes I can say much more than I planned and not even address the real issue that is there. Oh my, look at this. Yes, I can. Yes. And so this is because the quality of our lives, the reason why the emotions run high, the quality of our lives is directly related to our ability and willingness to effectively tackle tough issues. That's why we get so emotional about it, because we understand that the quality of our lives is tied to the interaction, whether it is the brief interaction with someone who is angrily driving. Why would we even get into a long back and forth about that? Think about the quality of your life. Is it really worth having this long interaction in that setting? Or is the living peaceably part just smiling and yielding? Oh my, as much as lieth within you and your car, right? It's going to be a few seconds of difference in time. Just let them go. If you're not careful, like a disease, an unresolved issue can impact every area of a person's life. And that's through the emotional impact that it's having on them. So in other words, you're upset about that issue that you didn't have the conversation about, and it spills over. That was in your home, but it spills over to work. Oh my goodness, it spills over to church. It spills over to my interactions in the grocery store because I was angry before I left home, right? As much as lieth within you As much as it depends on you, what do? You live peacefully. I see it. I see it. Shut off the distractions. I see that. Yeah, these conversations are necessary. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Why do people avoid conflict? Well, there are several reasons why they avoid conflict. Sometimes they are fearful of the repercussions. What's going to happen as a result of me directly addressing a topic that is, to be honest, uncomfortable. We're sometimes concerned about a lost relationship, or if it's a job situation, we're concerned about lost employment, or even personal injury, are some of the ramifications that are possible when a conflict has gone bad. But if you don't have the ability to see the value of interaction and the value to allow someone to challenge your opinion, that also causes conflict. You see, interaction is necessary. As humans, we're built to interact. We're built for relationships, and it's important that you value someone else's opinion. That's right. Just maybe you're not always right. Oh, I know it is. I know it's revelatory. Can you believe it? That sometimes you actually might not be right. Yeah. As much as lieth within you, as much as it depends on you, live peacefully. So that means I take a self-evaluation and I understand that I'm not going to always be right. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. I really enjoyed this topic. It was very revelatory for me, addressing conflict, and I know it will bless others. I pray that it is blessing you. Go ahead, press share. When in conflict, the opposing presenter's passion is often viewed as being rigid or unwilling to hear the other side. And sometimes it's not that at all. It's just how they express themselves. I express myself with my hands, but it doesn't mean that I'm angry just because I'm using my hands. That's just how I express myself. And so don't give up on a conversation just because someone else is passionate. Don't give up just because they're passionate and perhaps they express themselves differently than you do. Make sure that you are considering the other person's perspective. That's right. So we're going to have crucial conversations. If you're going to achieve growth in your relationships, in your interactions, no matter where that is, if you're going to have fellowship, good communication, a atmosphere that is conducive to accomplishing the task that is at hand. We talked about that earlier. If we want to get it done, then we've got to work together to get it done. If you're going to have community, if you're going to have a environment that is healthy in your home and in any of your relationships, you've got to be willing to lovingly address conflict. All right, so you pray, you hear God, you have the discussion, and you watch God work it out. Come on, just repeat those after me in your comments. Come on, pray. God, we need you. God, we bless you. We sure do love you. Then pause, stop, hear God. You may say a whole lot more than that, of course, in prayer time. Hear God. God will direct you. Just pause for a moment. Sometimes in prayer, we do all the talking, when the one who's got the answers is saying, I want to speak to you. I'm speaking. You can't hear me because you keep talking, right? We're going to pray. We're going to hear God. Then we're going to have that discussion, that crucial conversation. Come on, we're going to have that discussion. You can do it. You can talk about it. It's been plaguing you for a long time. Part of the process of letting it go is having that conversation. And then you're going to watch God work it out. Now, in our prayer time, we're going to ask God to help us to forgive. You know, the Lord's Prayer is, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So going into the